Hello and welcome to a new video here on my channel, here at Comaik. Today, the construction of my new pool continues. I will be installing coping stones. I will be positioning patio slabs around the pool. I will also be building a platform, which I will also tile. Parts of my old BBC terrace will be set upright on the slope, laying them around the outside of the pool. Want to know how that works and how I do it? Then stay tuned. We're about to get started. The pool you see behind me used to be a steel wall pool until 2 years ago. I tore out the steel wall and instead built a concrete block pool. 2 years ago the pool liner finally arrived. And since then we've been swimming diligently. If you want to know how the entire renovation went, check the top right corner. There I'll link you to the videos for the pool renovation project. In this video I will be installing the pool coping stones. I'll show you how I do it, and over there in that area I'll also be building a terrace with solid terrace slabs. So far I've only renovated the pool house. You can see it, there's no green mat on it anymore, but instead a thick and heavy pond liner. I installed the roof flush with the outer concrete blocks, so I can lay the pool coping stones in this area, extending beyond the edge. But which stones and slabs did I buy for the pool? And where did I get them from? The shipping company delivered 7 pallets from Reservaben to me today. What's inside? It's obvious. These are the slabs for the terrace. They're 3 centimeters thick. Altogether, that's about 20 to 25 square meters. The rest is a ready-made pool coping set for our pool. First, I'll have to carry the stones over to the pool. That alone will be a 1 to 2 day job. After that, I can lay out the stones around the pool edge and precisely adjust the joints. Of course, I'll also have to cut some of the stones to the right size. We'll see. The pool coping stones and the terrace slabs have finally arrived, and I brought the stones straight to the pool. The stones weigh almost 3 tons in total. That was, of course, a great job, spending an entire afternoon hauling the stones around. Before I can glue the stones onto the pool edge and lay out the terrace slabs on the surface, I still have to prepare a few things. I've already leveled this area with the edge of the pool. This way, I can later lay both the pool edge stones and the terrace stones at the same height. The stones on the pool edge will be glued. The terrace slabs will later simply be laid into the gravel. I also built a platform on the other side. With this platform, I want to create a transition from the raised pool edge to the outdoor kitchen. I'm still not quite sure how I'll later extend the area to create a nice transition. Posts are also supposed to be concreted in here so that later a sun sail can be stretched from my outdoor kitchen to here. Now I'm going to tinker around a bit here, and over there I'll attach the pond liner to the pool edge with profile strips so that the pool house remains waterproof in the future. After that, I'll lay out the coping stones in such a way that the pattern lines up evenly. The corners are relatively easy to make. I have coping stones with a depth of 30 cm. The pool walls have a depth of 25 cm. I want to install the coping stones flush on the outside. That way I'll have a nice straight line that I can use as a reference, and on the inside an overhang of just under 5 cm. But I'll still experiment a bit with that. I don't want it to be too much. Feel free to leave me a tip in the comments below. In your opinion, what would be the optimal measurement? In any case, I want an overhang. The water that splashes out of the pool from the inside should be held back by the pool coping stones. After all, the water is supposed to stay in the pool and not be lost outside. As soon as I have finished the cornerstones, I can position the middle stones. This is where it gets a bit more interesting. It's not a 90-degree curve here. The large angle grinder comes into play. I'll have to cut the stones to size with it. Again, things get interesting. Here, the pool edge has different heights. This construction was necessary back then. I'm curious to see how the dimensions of the coping stones will work out and how much I can cut the stones to fit. Long story short, there's a lot of work ahead of me today. I just hope the weather holds. Right on time for the weekend. Rain is forecast again. I'm done. All the coping stones are now glued in place. As you can see, I cut the stones to fit, I cut the corners and glued the stones to the pool edge with the 10mm wide joint. The stones extend about 5 centimeters into the pool, but they still hold very well. That's exactly how I wanted it. Now comes the finale of my project. The area with the terrace, that also needs to be covered with the large slabs. The bedding gravel is already level. Now I'll bring in some laying grit and then level it off cleanly and evenly at the height of the coping stones. After that, I can simply lay the terrace slabs on the grit. The joints between the slabs will also filled with grit. The slabs are laid loose and are not glued because the stones shift. This way, rainwater or water from the pool can simply drain away without me having any problems with frost. What do you think about the project? Let me know your feedback. Give me a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. If you want to know which adhesive and which tools I use, check under the video in the description. I've linked everything for you there. Let's continue with the terrace. The terrace slabs have also now been laid out completely. I filled the gaps with grit, and over time the rain will further compact the grit in the joints. In the end, the excess grit can simply be swept away and disposed of or used elsewhere. I have left the area between the pool coping stones and the first terrace slabs open. That's where I want to grout the pool coping stones today. I want to apply this joint compound today and have already prepared everything. Let's see how well I can do it. Manage it, especially considering that the pool coping stones protrude a bit over the edge into the pool. I had the idea to tape off the joint from below with masking tape. That way the joint compound can't fall into the pool but stays exactly where it's supposed to, namely in the joints. I've also finished building this small platform. The platform is glued. These stones are firmly bonded together with adhesive. This area here, as well as the transition to the path, is glued. There is adhesive everywhere under the front part of the slabs. Also here, where the holder for the sun sail will be inserted later, the stone is glued. Towards the back, I filled the substructure with gravel. Now I'm going to mix the joint compound. I'm going to mix the stuff together, just as it says in the instructions. Normally, the joint compound is pressed into the joints with a rubber float. Since I don't have a rubber float, I'll try it with a sponge or with a regular trowel. Then the joint compound has to dry a bit first. Once it has dried, I'll clean the area thoroughly with plenty of water. Wash it. I'll wash the joints diagonally so that no cement residue or anything like that remains on the terrace stone. Then the whole thing can dry in peace. You can tell by the weather. Autumn has arrived by now. There won't be any more swimming this year. So the pool edge can dry and harden completely. In the spring, I can then test whether this stuff is really as good as it says in the description. Enjoy watching. done. It took me almost 6 hours to press the grout into these joints and then go all the way around the outside once to remove the excess material with the sponge. The first joints back in the corner where I showed my approach, tested it, in my opinion, didn't turn out perfectly. But with the other joints, I have to say, I'm actually quite satisfied with the result. I think some of you tilers out there will surely be able to give me a good tip. What should I have done differently? Now it's too late. I'm happy with the result. I have to say that the mess was also kept within limits. Of course, some of it fell into the water, but autumn is already here. Winter is just around the corner. The pool will be winterized next weekend. That doesn't bother me because I'm going to drain most of the water anyway. On the large terrace tiles, I still have some patches of cement residue. These stones are a bit rougher and they weren't sealed. Here, I couldn't wash off the excess very well with the sponge. I'll have to remove that with cement residue remover. What do you think about the project? What do you think of my terrace and how I built it? What do you think? What tips can you give me? How should I proceed here? I'm looking forward to exchanging ideas with you. If you want to know what I used here, which products and tools I used, then take a look below the video. In the description there, you'll find everything I used here. You'll also find the like button there. I would be really happy if you pressed it. You'll also find the subscribe button there. Click it if you want to see more videos from me. At this point, I'm actually done. I'm looking forward to the next video and to interacting with you under this video. Leave me a comment. See you then. Take care. Bye.